Stu, thank you. And a very good evening to you for a match between two clubs who've both been in the old 4th division within the last 30 years, on a night where both could end the evening in the top 8 of the Premier League. The Bournemouth and Fulham are part of the furniture these days. Shouldn't take away from the huge progress that they've made over the last generation. Of course, they've spent money to get here, but that shouldn't detract from their achievements, particularly in the case of the Cherries, who 16 years ago today drew 0-0 at Port Vale in League 2, but who can climb tonight to the highest point in the club's history. If they beat Fulham, they'll move up to 2nd, and it's the 2nd time they've ever been to that lofty vantage point, and the first time they'll ever have been in the top 7 this far into a Premier League season. And all that after selling the spine of the team that achieved so much last season. Zabani, Howson, Kirkes and Ouattara all gone for a combined £190 million, seemingly at the moment at least not to the detriment of the team after sound reinvestment. Early days of course, but European football here at the Vitality, it isn't out of the question. Fulham are another who would have spent the summer eyeing further improvement, even if they didn't sign a single outfield player until deadline day. That lack of activity bemused some of the club's support. Their start has been solid if unspectacular, and with the rub of the green at Villa last week, they might have been level on points with the Cherries. Beat them tonight, and they will be. These are the two teams, Bournemouth lining up, Petrovic in goal, Hill, Diakite, Senesi and Trufair, Scott and Adams, Semenyo, Tavernier and Brooks, and Evan Nielsen. Fulham lining up with Leno in goal. Does look like a back 5 of Castagna, Diop, Anderson, Bassi and Sessegnon. Berger, Lukic and Iwobi, King, off Wilson maybe as the front two. All about to become clear. Simon Hooper has already shown a couple of red cards in the Premier League this season. He is the man who will be getting us underway on a pretty filthy night here on the Dorset coast, about a mile from the sea. And Storm Amy is blowing in. It's blowing into the faces of the Bournemouth players in this first half. They will kick from left to right, defending the Steve Fletcher stand. And the ball immediately laid back for Alex Scott. We are underway. Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts. Fulham in their change kit of all green. David Brooks starting on the right-hand side. The last time that he and Semenyo started the game together was against Newcastle. They played the other way around on that occasion, but Semenyo's out on the left tonight as he played last week, and the ball's gone out of play for an early Bournemouth throw. Fascinating encounter here. I think that Scott are a load of different opinions about how this might go. The best Premier League games tend to be the ones where both clubs come into it reckoning they've got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, first of all, it is a 5 at the back or a 3 at the back, and we'll have to wait and see whether it becomes a 5 as to how much we know that Bournemouth like to try and get the ball as much far forward as possible. I mean, Hugh came out with a stat, and he's absolutely right, that Fulham spend the most time playing out in the back in their own third. I think that would be kamikaze football if they were to do that here against this Bournemouth side. But Fulham themselves were very vulnerable to that ball over the top. So, yeah, I just feel, although I do think we'll see goals, I think more will come from Bournemouth than from Fulham.
It's almost a sort of 3-4-2-1 formation in these early stages. I don't know whether they are just lining up with King as the most advanced in the early stages, just almost as a bum steer, whether they are going to be maintaining that all the way through. Anderson heads the ball away from the edge of his own penalty area. We've already had just a brief hiatus because of a technical problem for referee Simon Hooper. His earpiece wasn't working, but that's only cost us 20-30 seconds or so. Ball out for a throw that Bournemouth take level with us. We're situated midway inside the half that Fulham are defending in this first half. Their travelling supporters over on the right-hand side of the stand on the far side from us. James Hill in possession for the Cherries, working it forward. Evan Nielsen will chase. Out comes Bernd Leno, who's making the 119th successive Premier League appearance, and he claims the ball on the edge of his penalty area and then drops it down and plays it out towards his right-hand side for Diop, and Diop will work it forward right-footed. Iwobi finds himself as the most advanced attacking that. Flicked forward here by Berger and then cleared, brought down by Evan Nielsen, but it's all a little bit scrappy. Won back well by Anderson and played down towards the left-hand side for Sessegnon. And Sessegnon will just venture up the left-hand touchline. Works it forward towards Iwobi, but he's offside. It's a free kick to Bournemouth with 3 minutes in here on TalkSport, 0-0.
That's a good line held by Bournemouth, and you can see how well drilled they are. And only Iriola put his hand up for offside. He can't even see from that angle, but he knew if someone's going to play a pass from that angle, they should make sure he's offside, and they were indeed. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, we got it right with 3 at the back, but out of the 3 of Iwobi, King and Wilson, it is King who's sort of that central one and further up. I think that's a lot for the youngster to ask him to play a totally different position with his back to goal. We've seen other youngsters struggle a little bit, and straight in my mind Tyreek George is a winger at Chelsea, but being asked at times to play as a centre forward, it's a totally different position when you've got your back to play than rather seeing in front of you. So I hope we don't lose the skill of what Josh King can offer playing in that number 10 role normally.
Scott tried to bring the ball down in the midfield, couldn't quite, but Tavernier can. And he sprays it out towards the left-hand side for Trufair, the left-back side to replace Milos Kerkez. And he's not been much of a downgrade, it has to be said. He started really well since his £11 million move from Rennes. Has possession again over on the far touchline. To work back towards Scott. Now Diakite, another one of the summer arrivals, down towards James Hill, playing at right back again in the continued absence of the injured Adam Smith. Hill trying to work the ball through the midfield away from Iwobi. Tavernier's got it. Lofted ball from him goes out towards Trufair. Now he has a wonderful shape on these left-footed crosses. He's turned inside the penalty area here. And the ball cannons away off Lukic. And Castagna should be able to clear. He takes it down towards the touchline. Trufair actually blocked the clearance. It's gone out of play for a goal kick that Leno will take. 4-0.
Well, considering how good Milos Kerkez was last season, the biggest compliment that I can give Trufair is he doesn't seem to be too missed, does he? I think he's come in, he's been absolutely superb. Loves to get forward as much as possible, which is what Kerkez did here on a regular basis. Cut inside rather than cross the ball there, and it was just a deflection in the end. The shot wasn't quite as good on his right foot, but certainly again more positive play from him down the left.
And Anderson plays it forward, and on that occasion King had stayed very deep, and Wilson and Iwobi had made advanced runs, almost a split strikers past him. Bournemouth repel the threat on that occasion, win it back in the midfield now with Scott, and it's played down towards Hill. Hill finding David Brooks, first time ball around the corner from him. Hill with the delivery, but it was a miss-hit cross rather than a shot. Sailed over the bar into the Ted McDougall stand, and it remains goalless through the opening 5 minutes, so nearly all the possession in Bournemouth's favour. It's 83-17 so far to the Cherries, who come into this unbeaten in 5 Premier League games. They've had just the 1 defeat so far. That was against Liverpool on the opening day, and they only went behind in the latter stages. Unbeaten in the Premier League since then, and in fact since their first victory under Iraola nearly 2 years ago, they've had the 7th best points tally. It's some record that he has got after that poor start that he made.
Do you know what, Jim? I just wanted to see whether there'd be an attack there for Fulham, but I think you need to repeat that, because that is an incredible stat, isn't it?
So, over the last 2 years, since Bournemouth's first game, so it doesn't take into account his just little teething spell where they started badly, but since he got his first win, only 6 teams in the Premier League over 23 months have picked up more points than Bournemouth have, which, when you consider their history, when you consider what they've spent compared to other clubs, when you consider their wage bill compared to other clubs, it's just a staggering achievement.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you to repeat it, just in case anyone missed it, because that is absolutely incredible and just shows the job that Andoni Iraola has done. When you think about, as she was saying, he didn't win in his first 9 games here, and people were saying, oh, what a mistake you've made, and will he get the sack? Well, this is why they not only brought him in but had faith in him as well. It's been incredible.
Well, he was an appointment on Richard Hughes' watch here. A long throw inside the penalty area, flicked on by Diakite from Semenyo's delivery, headed back in towards Evan Nielsen. Leno comes out and punches it. It's back on his feet, but the danger's not clear. Not a ball in, headed away by Anderson on the edge of the 6-yard box. And Scott's going to be able to mop it up in the midfield for Bournemouth, who started really brightly here. They've got a throw as Adams plays it forward. It hits Sessegnon, but those deliveries inside the Fulham penalty area from wide positions could be one of the keys to success tonight for Bournemouth.
Do you know what, Anton Semenyo, I mean, what a player, what a specimen. I've spoken to someone at the club and they said he's a great lad as well. He's powerful, he's quick, he's 2-footed, he's so difficult to mark. He's also got a long throw. Jim, which adds to the modern day set piece now as well. He's got everything.
Yeah, as much a part of the footballing fashion these days as kipper ties were in the 1970s. I mean, everything is circular, and it's come round again. Listen, if moustaches were going to come back in, long throws certainly were.
Yeah, well, there's a Newcastle striker who looks like someone from the 70s for sure. He's not done too bad, Walter.
Yeah, he's had a good start, playing on Sunday at home to Nottingham Forest, where a goal would make him only the third Newcastle player to score in their first 3 home games in the Premier League. Behind Les Ferdinand and Alan Shearer, so being exalted company. Doesn't look much like either of them. The ball is out of play for a throw, taken on the Bournemouth left. We're 8 minutes in, it's 0-0.
Yeah, it's been all Bournemouth, isn't it? You can see why Fulham, again, talk about the game at Villa Park last week. I just thought they were so vulnerable with that ball over the top, so I think he's come to absolutely try and keep a clean sheet if he possibly can. He can't play for a 0-0 draw for the whole 90 minutes, but not only have they not got a recognised striker, but he's just added an extra player at the back there, an extra centre half, that worry of that ball over the top.
David Rooks has just been fouled by Sessegnon. And it's a free kick that Bournemouth will take about 3 yards in from the right-hand touchline. Just got caught late after the ball had gone. He's worked it back towards Hill. Hill to Diakite, the £35 million signing from Lille. Long ball over the top. Evan Nielsen chesting it down quite brilliantly. But just as it threatened to drop onto his left foot, Anderson came back and swept up superbly. Good play all round.
Blimey. Just say about the long ball over the top, and that's exactly what they did there. And there's 3 obviously centre halves who just didn't deal with that. I mean, Diop you can take out the equation because he's the right-sided centre half, but between the other 2 who normally do play together, no communication. A better first touch, as difficult as the ball was, and even Nielsen would have been in.
Bournemouth come again with true fair in towards the edge of the penalty area. Taken down by Tavernier, finding Semenyo. Semenyo trying to pull it back. Evan Nielsen was waiting. And Fulham again defending mob-handedly are going to be able to get it away with Scott laying it out. Castagne's ball out was a poor one. Shot comes in and it's crept just wide. Then Leno down to deny Adams a goal. He got a right hand to that to flick it past the post for the first corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's all Bournemouth right now, and Fulham just can't get out. If they try and play long, they haven't got a typical centre-forward to hold it up. And if they try and play short, they're just swarming all over them, Bournemouth. And Tyler Adams gets in there, has a shot, just ticked around the post. Not quite sure it was going to go in anyway, but Leno wasn't sure.
Yeah, maybe he would have just clipped the outside of the post. He hasn't scored since January 2021, Tyler Adams. And he's had the first decent chance tonight. First corner then to be taken on the Bournemouth left by Scott in towards the near post. That's easily volleyed away by Sasha Lukic. Tavernier back out for Scott once more. Can change the angle on the delivery this time and put it in too close to Bernd Leno. And his first thought is to bolt it out quickly. All of a sudden it's 3 against 3. Fulham running from in their own half, and a better ball from Wilson for Iwobi could have caused the Cherries some significant problems. That's the kind of opening they're playing for. It was excellent from Leno, good hands, getting it forward quickly. The poor ball from Wilson, and it all fizzled out. Bournemouth come again with Brooks. Hill on the overlap for him. Has he won another corner? Yes, he has.
Well, it's become a bit of a tennis match. It's great to watch, I have to say. Where just one moment Fulham couldn't get out, Bernd Leno realised there was an opportunity of the counter-attack, and I mean, Harry Wilson on his left foot. He's got to have the weight of the pass much better than that, because Alex Iwobi was in there from the halfway line.
Scott raises both arms above his head. First corner came from the left, this one from the right. Like a golfer on the tee, he's just throwing a little bit of grass up to see how the wind might affect this. And he stands, addressing the ball with his left foot. He's going to clip it in with his right. Another signal given from the midfielder. I think the signal he gave was, I'm going to underhit this in towards the near post so that it hits the nearest defender. Wilson headed it away. They've got a problem, Fulham, because Lukic has gone down injured inside his own penalty area, and the medical staff are going to come on. There was no one anywhere near, which suggests this is a muscular problem, and an injury for Lukic would be the latest blow for Marco Silva, who has not been blessed with a huge amount of luck this season.
No, he hasn't. I mean, first of all, Alex Scott with the grass, almost like I hope his golf is better than his corners. That's what you do, just to judge the 160 yards in onto the green. It wasn't good, but yeah, this doesn't look good. This could be muscular, there could even be ligament. You know, it's one of those where he's not writhing around in absolute agony, but when these things happen, you're not actually in agony sometimes, and you can be out for months. Let's just hope he's going to be okay first of all tonight, and if he has to come off, it's no more than a couple of weeks.
Well, he is going to have to come off. Tom Kearney is getting ready. Sasha Lukic back on his feet is just being led away behind the goal, and Kearney will come on to replace him. Lukic, who has started every league game so far this season. Kearney's only played 40 minutes so far. He only made 3 Premier League starts last season. The likeable Scottish international who has been at Fulham for donkey's years. He's going to come on for his 360th appearance for the club. So Kearney for Lukic. Well, they lost Raul Jimenez to injury about 10 minutes in at Villa Park on Sunday, and they've lost Lukic to a problem 13 minutes in tonight. It never rains, but it pours. It's going to be a throw that Hill will take for Bournemouth. 8 yards from the corner flag. High swerving delivery, which is headed away. The whistle has gone as it came back in. The resulting header went over the bar anyway. That's a free kick that will be taken by Bernd Leno away to our right-hand side. 14 gone, 0-0 here on TalkSport. Here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, it's just such a shame, isn't it? We talk about the injuries up front, but it's the last thing that Marco Silva would have wanted. But Tom Kearney, as you say, feels like he's been at the club 20 years, let alone whatever it is. It must be a decade by now. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's a great lad. Very, very funny. He's got a great left foot. I think he is the perfect guy just to sit in there, the experience. He'll communicate with everybody.
The play is actually going to resume with a Fulham throw, because the long throw from Hill was a foul throw. That was the decision from the referee. Fulham trying to win the seconds in the midfield. Truefair sort of that. Evan Nielsen brings it down. Flick takes it away from Wilson. Back from him to Adams. The American international working it forward into the feet of Tavernier. Evan Nielsen with his back to goal just lays it back to him. Now it goes out towards Truefair again. Live over on TalkSport 2 right now. Wrexham leading Birmingham by a goal to nil. George Dobson has scored that. Blues really struggling to score goals away from home. Well beaten at Coventry last weekend and held by Sheffield Wednesday. Only with a very late equaliser did they get anything at all out of that game. It's live for you right now over on TalkSport 2. Wrexham 1, Birmingham 0. Here it's 0-0 with Tavernier trying to bring it forward, hoping to roll the ball into the feet of Truefair. Fulham again turning possession over. Strong challenge from Diakite, but a fair one into Josh King. Won the ball. No complaints from the young Englishman who's been called up to the under-21s for the first time today. Tavernier lays it back and it goes out towards the left-hand side for Truefair. Truefair's ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Here's Semenyo. Bournemouth's player of the campaign so far, just losing his footing as he tried to get inside the penalty area to deliver. It was a good turn, but just ran away from him after that. Then King is fouled, and Fulham will have a free kick about 15 yards outside their box.
Yeah, well, Castagnet, if his side are to get anything out of this game, even a point, and I'm pretty sure Marco Silva would take it now, even if he wouldn't admit it publicly, but he's going to have an absolute blinder up against the menu we talked about and has been absolutely on fire this season. Brilliant player, strong, quick, can go either way, and from a fullback's point of view that's an absolute nightmare, because normally you try and show him one side, but he literally can go, you're going to show me down the line, I'll go down the line. You show me inside, okay, I'll go inside and have a shot. And it is interesting, you mentioned at Newcastle the two wingers were more traditional wingers being on the sides. Now they're inverted wingers. And certainly try and get the ball out wide as much as possible.
Throw taken on the Bournemouth right, and then shanked straight out of play for a Fulham throw. Let's get half-time details from tonight's WSL game. Here's Natalie Pye.
Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1, and there is not much at all between the league's top two teams. Chelsea struck first cap team, finishing off a smart move. Wrighton Kinnaird drove in a low cross. Macario flicked a clever back heel, and cap team was there to guide the ball into the bottom corner. United responded well, found an equaliser 10 minutes later. Anna Sandberg with her first ever goal for United, and she may never strike a better 20-yard out left-footed volley. All square at half-time. United 1, Chelsea 1.
And Super League action going on in the Northwest tonight as well at the Brick Community Stadium. Wigan against Lee. Nick Horton.
13 minutes gone here. Still scoreless, but Lee have been over the line but denied by video referee Tom Grant. Owen Trout not grounding the ball. 13 gone. Wigan 0, Lee 0.
Thank you. Breaking news from Manchester City, incidentally. Savinho has signed that new long-term deal. It will keep him at the club until 2031, a contract extension for Savinho. And a reaction from that as the evening progresses here on Talk Sport. Fulham in possession here, working it forward. It was Diop's pass, cut out though by Scott. Possession has abated a little for Bournemouth. It's about 70-30 now, but Fulham still without a sight of goal 18 minutes in. They've had that one good opportunity on the counter-attack that didn't lead to a shot. Other than that, it has been all Bournemouth. Good battle between Anderson and Evan-Nielsen. Evan-Nielsen just gave the Danish defender a shove. He still won the ball comfortably, and Diop's got it now. At the heart of the Fulham defence, he will turn and go back for his goalkeeper. Big night for Diop because he hasn't played Premier League football since April. Brought back in for this change of formation for Fulham. Haven't played with a back three since the last 15 minutes of their victory against Liverpool back in April. Haven't started a game with the back three since they lost to Arsenal about 5-6 months ago. Ball play forward here, Trufair making the run. So no chance of getting there. And for all Bournemouth's possession, they haven't worked Leno as much as they would have wanted.
No, they haven't. I was just about to say that the downside of the back five, and it is really a back five, but not really having a recognised striker, is that you can't really get up the field. No one's going to be able to hold the ball up and allow the defenders to get up. But the upside of that is that Evan-Nielsen's up against 3 central defenders at the moment, so it's difficult for him. He needs more support.
And there's been a try in the rugby. Matt Horton.
Yeah, and it's gone the way of Wigan. Bevan French, the beneficiary, after Bailey Hodgson loses the ball, bringing it back. It was scooped up by Adam Kieran, and French went over untouched. Kick to come. Wigan lead by 4 points to 0.
Ball down the right-hand side of the penalty area for Evan-Nielsen, coming to meet it. And he's cleared it. And it goes out of play. Has he stopped it going out of play for a goal kick? I don't think he has. Leno will take it away to the right-hand side. So Marco Silva's men, a difficult fixture for them, bearing in mind Bournemouth's form this season and Fulham's injury woes. They've laid up a solid platform in the opening 20 minutes. This is the first time, incidentally, for nearly 2 years that they've started a game without either Jimenez or Muniz up front. Last time it happened, it was Vinicius who was leading the line. And Josh King, who is tonight, was only 16.
He's still only 18 now, isn't he? Incredible. But I tell you what, I feel very nervous about Fulham. No team plays more in their own defensive third than Fulham, and they're playing out from the back at the moment, trying to suck in Bournemouth. But Bournemouth love this. They want to try and nick it, and a couple of times Fulham haven't tried to get out. And the one time that they have right now, the ball's going straight to Bournemouth, so it's difficult for them to get out when you haven't got that recognised striker.
Josh King on the left-hand side of midfield, just given a little shove by Hill. Now comes down towards Sander Berger. Berger back towards King. He won't be making a run through the middle as King just drifting in from the inside left position here. He's inside the penalty area, finding Sessegnon, whose delivery is headed away from inside the penalty area by Trufair. Comes back outside the penalty area for Kearney. Berger just shovels it to his left-hand side for Bassi. This is Fulham's first meaningful sustained attack. Little reverse ball is a good one from Sessegnon. King turning it back onto his right foot, leaning away inside the penalty area. 1-2 between him and Sander Berger. And then a good reverse ball for Bassi, whose delivery deflects away off the retreating Brooks, and out for Fulham's first corner of the night.
Yeah, you're right. First sustained attack getting into Bournemouth's third. And it was good football as well. A couple of times Josh King getting on the ball inside the box, not able to quite wriggle and get a shot on target, or off target for that matter. But you know what, when you're under pressure, set pieces become even more important.
So Harry Wilson to take the corner. There's a bit of a swirling breeze which might just add a little bit of a random nature to these deliveries from out wide. It's swung in deep, bit of pushing and shoving going on inside the box, and Kearney unleashes as it's headed back out to him. And a rising drive cleared the bar by some distance.
Well, he's got a wonderful left foot, but I think that would have been some goal from there. It was bouncing up, trying to keep on top of it. What would he have been, 25 yards out maybe? Good strike, but wasn't able to get on top of it and keep it down.
The first shot that they've had, and it's come in the 22nd minute midway through the first half. It's only the second time since the start of last season that Fulham haven't had a shot or touch in the opposition box in the opening 20 minutes. It just gives you an idea of Bournemouth's dominance, and it's not just dominance of possession but territorial dominance as well, because so much of it has been in the Fulham final third.
It's what they do. It's why they're so good, and it's why they're completely overachieving of the last couple of seasons, because everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Everyone's incredibly fit, but as you say, not really tested Bernd Leno enough. That's the biggest thing that Iraola will be trying to sort out from now. And Fulham, just after the first 10 minutes of them being so much under pressure and not able to get out, they're getting more and more into the game.
Kenny winning a free kick, taking it quickly between the lines for King. Back from him to Anderson, to Tom Kearney again. It's about 3 yards inside his own half as he just lays it out towards the right hand side. Diop is able to come forward, finding Castagna, who's getting it running the team at right back in the absence of the injured Kenny Teta. And then Anderson will go back to his goalkeeper Bernd Leno. You're listening to Bournemouth Fulham on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Bournemouth against Fulham, live right now. Search Now Sports. Here's Timothée Castagna. Harry Wilson coming in off the right hand side. Back from him to Kearney. Kearney pushing forward. Now walking it onto his left foot, the substitute, just nudging it to Sander Berge. There's still space on the right-hand side for Castagna. They played round the back of Truefair. Wilson with a little back heel flick back, but he went straight to Truefair and the flag was up anyway. And it's a free kick to Bournemouth inside their own penalty area. 0-0 here on TalkSport, 24 minutes gone.
Yeah, just overhit the pass there, but as I say, at least Fulham, it was offside, but at least Fulham are able to get into Bournemouth's half and breathe a little. Those first 10 minutes, it was all Bournemouth, and I was thinking they can't keep this up and keep a clean sheet, but they have looked a lot more solid. They're getting the ball down and trying to pass a little bit more, and if they can get set pieces in, they've got height.
Bournemouth trying to play a long diagonal for the run from David Brooks off the right flank. He timed it well, just not quite enough height on the ball to find him from Semenyo. Fulham win it back and then give it away. Anderson's defensive header evading Kearney in the midfield. And picked up by Brooks. Brooks in towards Scott, who just tried to turn away from Bassi. He's fouled him, Bassi, as he's claiming that he took the ball, but the referee says no. Free kick to Bournemouth. Scott gets back with the palm of his right hand just on the small of his back. It's a sore one for him, but a free kick that Bournemouth will take 20 outside the penalty area. Yeah,
when Calvin Bassi comes into you, you certainly know about it. He's done well to get up very quickly.
Currently Bournemouth 0, Fulham 0. For the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can back Bournemouth to win at 19-20, Fulham a 16-5, the draw a 2-1 shot, and that's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18 plus, gambleaware.org. Free kick taken by Scott, plenty of air underneath that towards the far post. Diakite making the run, it's drifted over him, straight out of play for a goal kick. And if anything, the Cherries have just lost their way over the last 10 minutes or so.
They've lost that sort of momentum and pressure that they put on Fulham in the first 10 minutes. Fulham, when they tried to go long, weren't holding the ball up. When they tried to play little passes, the midfield were really pushing on. Tyler Adams is the one that springs to mind, where they end up having a shot and Bernd Leno just passed it wide. So fair play to Fulham. As I say, they've got injuries on the game here, and as well as up front. They're holding their own now.
Long ball played for down the Fulham left. King controlled it on his chest and then made an instant headway. It was a good run, and Scott stopped it with a well-timed challenge. And again, excellent football all round. Ball out of play for a throw. Iwobi goes back for Diop. It's on halfway. He's a Diop making his way forward into Bournemouth territory. Castagna's ball is easily cut out. Sent forward again by Bournemouth. Bounces on halfway. Iwobi can bring it down. King lets it run. Sessegnon coming in from behind him has got possession. King on the overlap for him. Low ball back towards Sessegnon. Didn't quite get there. Diakite timing his challenge well just to nudge it away. Then Scott has fouled his man, and the referee's actually said no foul. And it's a throw to Bournemouth rather than the free kick that Marco Silva thought Fulham should have had.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He absolutely wasn't happy with that. He's already talked about the decisions haven't gone with him so far this season. Now there's another one again. I talk about how when you're under pressure, you're full of injuries, you come to a very difficult place against a team that had their best ever start to a Premier League season. That would have been a dangerous position to have had a free kick in.
It's Tom Kearney in possession. Wilson, seeing the ball played into his feet. Harry Wilson will be in action for Wales against England Thursday night, live right here on TalkSport. I'm delighted to say Tom Lockyer is going to be joining the commentary team for that game. He'll be alongside Stuart Pearce at Wembley Thursday evening. England then going to Latvia, and we'll bring you that game as well live on TalkSport. Fulham bringing the ball forward, cleared by Tyler Adams from inside the penalty area. Comes out for Kearney. Kearney away from Brooks. The obvious pass is to his right for Diop. He's turned away though, worked it the other side, and there's space for Alex Iwobi. Now an opportunity for him to deliver, just clipping it in. It's taking a deflection. Petrovic came out on a night where I don't think he's touched the ball really as yet. And just got himself stranded for a moment. It was cleared from in front of him. Evan Nielsen knocks it forward now. Tavernier, and he'll continue his run down the left-hand side as Truefair works it forward. But Fulham have defended strongly with Diop, and they've got it back. It's just a little black balloon that's bobbling around, making its way along the halfway line now, catching the breeze every now and then and jumping up into the air before descending and rolling across the halfway line again. You see with the rain in the floodlights just how swirling the breeze is at the moment. No side gaining an advantage from it. And Truefair's in possession for Bournemouth midway inside the Fulham half. We're on the half-hour mark, as near as makes no difference here on TalkSport. David Brooks, nice little flick ball down the line for James Hill. Hill controlling it, sending it back for Brooks again. Brooks left-footed ball clipped in. Evan Nielsen comes to meet it. Anderson beats him to an extent to knock it away. It wasn't a great defensive header, but it was made a better one by Berger. And then a ball back is seized upon by Evan Nielsen. Was he brought down by Anderson? Those two are at it. There's plenty of just pushing and shoving and needle. Evan Nielsen's ended up on the deck. Play goes on, I think rightly. King out towards the right-hand side for Castagna. 30 minutes gone, 0-0. Fulham trying to open it up with Alex Iwobi here, but his right-footed effort is blocked. It hits Senesi. Evan Nielsen's still down injured. Clearly it's up to the referee to stop play. It's not up to Fulham. Play does stop now. And he's lying down, though. It's not a head injury. He's lying down holding his knee, and you can understand the frustration of the Fulham staff that has been stopped.
Why has it been stopped? Why? He's gone down. It's not about his head at all. It's not even his midrib. It's not even his thigh. I mean, he couldn't be much lower, really. And he's claiming that he's got fouled, Evan Nielsen. I'm sorry, he's not been hurt that much at all. And he was waiting for something like that, waiting for the referee to stop. But the referee should not be stopping there. It's another little niggly decision. You can't say that Fulham would have gone on to score at all, but they would have been certainly, well, they were on the attack. They've really impressed me after those first 10 minutes. But what was it, 73% possession for Bournemouth? Now it's down to 53. And that just goes to show how much Fulham are able to get the ball down, pass it. That's what they've got to do. They tried knocking it long just to survive that initial kind of ferocious wave that came from Bournemouth. But after those first 10 minutes, they have been able to get the ball down. They have been able to play, and actually they've created some chances as well.
Yeah, a couple of shots apiece, just the one on target so far. That was from Bournemouth. And Evan Nielsen, it did look relatively innocuous. He got caught on the follow-through by Anderson. There was no malice in it. But he's making his way off now, Evan Nielsen. I think he's going to be able to come back on in 30 seconds or so. And let's get a very quick update from the Super League. Matt?
It's Wigan 6, Lee 0. Both teams trading set for set at the moment. Lee currently on the attack, the best chance they've had for a few moments. It's a great game. As the December breaks, it's all going off here. It's Wigan 6, Lee 0.
So Wigan with the advantage in that semi-final. And Matt Horton will keep you updated here on TalkSport. Kearney's in possession, live over on TalkSport 2 right now, as again we bring you a choice of listening tonight. Still Wrexham 1, Birmingham City 0, with George Dobson's early goal the difference. Fulham working it forward. Anderson with an incisive ball that's taken a deflection, goes out towards Castagna. who will field it down by the corner flag. The rain just intensifying. Ball is laid back by Wilson. Here's Kearney. Evan Nielsen back on now for Bournemouth, who are restored to their full complement of 11. Wilson exchanging passes with Diop, and when they are building forward, Diop will just drift out to the right-hand side, and they will get Castagna and Sessegnon high and wide. Ball in towards the feet of the tall midfielder Sander Berger. Now back out towards Calvin Bassey, who feigns to cross and then turns back inside. Brooks not really deceived, denies him a cross, and then Brooks can then get it away as the ball was played back out towards Bassey, who's just out of position for a moment, and Berger, alive to that, has leant into him right in front of the Bournemouth bench, and the referee says no foul, which was not a decision that was greeted with unanimity by Andoni Iraola and co. They thought it was clearly foul. Fulham able to bring it forward with King on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Adams is there, trying to block the cross, and he's managed. Fulham win it back with Diop. Right-footed ball in from him, deflected away off Diakite. Then a ball round the corner from Iwobi, doesn't find its target. Scott can bring it down. And now he'll work it forward towards halfway. Semenyo waiting, but he's turned it back instead towards Trufair. He will go back as well towards Senesi. Bournemouth switch it from left to right and try and get on the front foot again.
Yeah, Fulham playing really well at the moment now, controlling more of the game, which is not what you'd expect. And when Bournemouth do get the ball, they're not breaking quick enough. They're dropping back in the back three, back five even, and they're finding it hard, Bournemouth, to then get into Fulham's half and break any space down. So fair play to Fulham.
Here's Semenyo, and he's tiptoeing towards the edge of the penalty area. Trufair making a run outside him. Flick back for Semenyo again. Here's Tyler Adams. 10 outside the penalty area. Trufair not quite in a position to cross it. Is he now? No, still not. He's put it back for Semenyo again. Semenyo towards the edge of the penalty area. Then Bournemouth injects a little bit of tempo, but it's flicked on by Tavernier for Evan Nielsen. He can't deal with it. And the Brazilian has seen it come off him, and Fulham can get it clear. It's one back in the midfield by Adams. Tavernier's got it again. Tavernier towards the edge of the penalty area, rolling it down the inside left channel. Nobody made the run, and Bournemouth have completely lost their way as an attacking entity. Let's go back to Wigan. There's been a try there. Matt Horton.
Again, it's come the way of Lee. They've made that pressure tell. A pass from Edwin Apafe from Robbie Mulhern, and he sneaked over from 5 metres out. Gareth O'Brien's added the goal. It's Wigan 6, Lee 6.
6 apiece there. Thank you, Matt. The ball worked forward through the midfield, headed away by Diakite, but it's only dropped for Harry Wilson. Just tried to slide the ball forward. Iwobi out towards Sessegnon. Wilson's made his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Sessegnon's got it, but can't find a way through. And a pass worked down the right-hand touchline by Tavernier. And Brooks chasing after that. Bassey winning it cleanly, and Bournemouth getting increasingly enraged with some of the decisions or non-decisions, as that again was allowed to play on. Berger for Iwobi. Bournemouth will be furious if Fulham score from this. Ball inside the penalty area, goes to Sessegnon. Back for Alex Iwobi again, with Bassey waiting for the pullback. And Iwobi just using him as the decoy at the moment. Now Bassey will make a run on the overlap. It's threaded in towards Sessegnon, but Diakite's dealt with it, and the cheers are ironic ones from the Bournemouth fans as a free kick goes the Cherries' way.
Yeah, I've not agreed with every decision that Simon Hooper's made, but I agree with that one. It was a close one between the two. I mean, Bassey wanting to try and do a little step over and then turn around, but David Brooks wasn't allowing him at all, and Bassey just stuck his leg out. I think he got enough of the ball, but the final ball of Bournemouth is not good enough. You know, they've had the possession. They obviously first 10 minutes, I was thinking this could be 2 or even 3-0. But when they have had the opportunity in that final third, the Tavernier there he should have shot, or if not, cross it to the far post. He's tried to lay a little ball in these. Talk about the rain, it's getting even worse, and the wind as well. Swirling conditions, wet pitch, very hard to judge that straight pass or the weight of the pass. Just have a shot in these conditions, try and bounce it in front of the keeper and then follow it in.
Live Premier League action returns to TalkSport tomorrow. Leeds against Spurs, 12:30. It kicks off, game day live starting at 11. A number of eye-catching EFL games over the course of the weekend as well, including Farmageddon. the East Anglian derby. Ipswich, Norwich at Portman Road. With Ipswich looking for their first win in an East Anglian derby since, is it 1838? Oh no, 2009, my mistake, but I knew it was a long time ago.
It was like that for them.
16
Armageddon,
years.
I like that one.
No,
I'll use that Sunday.
I would love to be able to claim that as mine. Here's Kearney bringing it forward. Wilson making a run outside him. Wilson on the right-hand side of the box, clipping it back in. Kearney arriving, couldn't get the shot away, and he's fouled Senesi as he stretched to try and do so.
Again, Fulham really growing into this game. So much under pressure in the first 10 minutes, and now they've got the confidence and the game's opening up a bit for them. It's not even really a counter-attack, but just really good passing, good running off the ball. It's a lovely ball, sort of flicked back from Wilson, and Tom Kearney just wasn't able to quite get, either hit it first time or get a really good first touch to then get that strike in second time, but he was only 12 yards out in front of goal.
Adams, true fair, lovely little 1-2 between him and Semenya. Tavernier coming onto it inside the penalty area. Good defending again from Anderson, whose presence was enough, and then Kearney very cleverly sticks the brakes on as Tavernier is chasing after him. A contact then inevitable, and the referee has given Fulham a free kick. Don't know whether you heard Martin O'Neill this week talking on breakfast. He was slaughtering the concept of XG, absolutely battered it. The XG here, 0.05 against 0.06, so I think 0-0's a pretty fair reflection. Here's Berger. He's about 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half.
One shot on target between the two, I think.
Yeah.
We get it from that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a Bournemouth shot early on. They've got a free kick here, the Cherries, but it's well inside their own half. It's a game, as I mentioned, the invention has fizzled out to an extent. Fulham, having laid this platform after a slightly difficult start with the possession that Bournemouth had in the area in which they were having it, I think have been buoyed by that counter-attack that didn't come off when Wilson couldn't feed Iwobi. But since then, they've seen that the game plan can work, and they've grown in confidence. Well, they haven't been able to replicate that kind of situation since. It is 0-0 with 5 to go to half-time.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Silva will be absolutely delighted with how this game has gone, especially how the first 10 minutes went. No striker, no recognised striker, 5 at the back, and playing like 5 at the back, not 3. But since then, all the front 3 have been able to get a little bit more on the ball and show what they're capable of. They've been able to get a couple of corners in, a couple of free kicks, and we know the height they've got there as well. But even in open play, they're looking really, really comfortable.
Kearney, just not quite enough guile on the ball forward for King, who made the right run straight down the middle. Kearney overhit the pass, it skidded through on this wet surface. And Bournemouth again survive. It goes through to Georgi Petrovic, the former Chelsea keeper. And the Cherries looking for Evan Nielsen with a similar kind of pass, swept away by Anderson, and he goes out of play for a throw on the Bournemouth left. It's taken back for Marcus Senesi, whose last goal actually came at Fulham more than 18 months ago. Here's Alex Scott in the midfield, his 50th Premier League appearance tonight. From him to Hill, to Diakite. Senesi's got it, flicking it with his favoured left foot into his stride, now bringing it forward over halfway. There's no pressure on him, so he can play a ball forward in towards Tavernier to Semenyo. Trufair ever willing to push forward on the left hand side. Semenyo rolls it to the Frenchman now. Ball in from the French international, headed away by Anderson. Only as far as Semenyo inside the box. Saved by the goalkeeper. Now as Evan Nielsen brought down. Flag is up on this near touchline, and Evan Nielsen was offside. Leno hurt himself in making that save, coming out bravely at the feet of Evan Nielsen, but the Brazilian was offside.
Well, two things there. We haven't seen enough of Antoine Semenyo. We know what a good player he is. But this time he picks up the ball in the box, gets half a yard, somehow gets the shot in. It's a really good save. If that goes straight in, then it doesn't matter. Evan Nielsen's not offside. But everyone teaches you, get across the goal, and if the keeper can't hold it, he'll parry it out, and that's what exactly Evan Nielsen was doing, especially in these type of conditions. He's just got to make sure his starting position when that shot comes in, he's onside and then running forward as the shot goes in. So it was irrelevant, but very brave from Leno.
He's just got the one goal so far this season, Evan Nielsen. That was the winner at Spurs. It's It's his only goal in 10 games going back into last season. It was something that you touched on earlier, Scott, when you're talking to Hugh about the disparity between his record here and on the road. Here it's 3-19 on the road. It's 8-18 in the Premier League. And of the 3 that he scored here at the Vitality Stadium, only one of those has come in his last 14 league matches on home turf.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say here tonight, it's a tough job for him. You know, it's not just the lone striker against 2 centre-halves, it's the lone striker against 3, and he needs help. He needs Marcus Tavernier a little bit closer to him. He needs the wide players to get more involved. So Fulham's tactics have been superb.
Sorry, Scott, on the basis then that it is 1 against 3, that there should be gaps and numerical advantage elsewhere for Bournemouth. They will try and bring it forward here with Adams. Goes out towards Semenyo again, coming up the left-hand side, beating Castagna, and it's cleared by Anderson. Scott from distance, that's hit Anderson as well. And ball shout was an optimistic one, and the referee didn't give it a second thought. Castagna clears. Ball out towards halfway. Senesi's got the beating of King.
Where Fulham are really good, and we say about there should be space elsewhere, but without the ball it's a 5-4-1. So it's very difficult to try and break it down, and these conditions of just balling behind.
Now that hit the hand of Bassi on its way through. Evan Nielsen, in fact, was the player that just got his hand to it. The referee has given a free kick against him, and there is a deceptive grin from Evan Nielsen, who knows that he's absolutely guilty as charged.
Well, it's eye of a needle pass to try and get him up against 3 and play the ball to him. And actually, he did get in behind there, and he actually ran past it. So as it bounced, he's having to almost stick his arm out because he has run past it. So in a way, I feel sorry for him. But yeah, absolutely, 5-4-1 without the ball. It's really difficult, and that ball over the top of us quickly, those 3 at the back are making sure. There was only that one time quite early on where Evan Nielsen did get in behind. Since then, the 3 have been in perfect harmony, really.
Half-time approaching. We've got about 30 seconds to go. And the 4th official, Josh Smith, has got the LED board in his hand. We'll find out in a moment how many extra minutes are going to be added on. There'll be a little bit, 2 or 3. Let's throw up the touchline, headed away by Bassi, and then brought down by Kearney. Kearney taking a touch and then just trying to guide it over the top for Harry Wilson's run. Wilson has led the line on the previous occasions, actually 4 additional minutes to be played. Wilson in that role for Wales on 2 or 3 occasions, but not recently. Ball inside the penalty area. Sessegnon can head it away, comes back on the edge of the box. Wobie sends a header back into the danger area, but Bassi dealt with that. Berger knocks it away, and now Fulham will look to break. Berger's continued his run forward. Petrovic sprinting outside his penalty area, and all he did was get the studs of his left boot to it to flick it forward towards Senesi. He's got to retreat quickly. Fulham have turned it over again. Petrovic is back, but Iwobi bringing it forward. Iwobi through a pair of legs. Fulham's first shot on target of the night, very comfortably claimed by the Serbian.
Yeah, the crowd in here and the Vitality are not happy with what they're seeing. Misplaced passes, giving the ball away. But as that ball came in to the far post, Sessegnon's headed it out and it's bounced down, and that's where the Bournemouth players need to win the knockdown, win that second ball. As the cross comes in, read the situation.
Tavernier tried to turn. It's Truffert. Big play for handball that time against Castagna. The referee again not interested. Diakite playing it forward. Semenyo trying to bring it down. Tavernier couldn't get to the loose ball before Diop cleared it. Hill beats Iwobi to it, so it comes back aerially towards the edge of the Fulham penalty area. Cleared out as far as Scott. And now with Truffert to his left, Bournemouth going to be able to bring it forward again. Evan Nielsen looked as though for a moment he was sending for the overhead kick. He's clattered into Bassi. He's back on his feet. Fulham clear their lines. Loose ball comes down for James Hill. Ball inside the centre circle for Senesi. Bournemouth on the front foot again as half-time approaches. Diop with a real old-fashioned hoik away from a Truffert delivery. That goes out of play for a throw.
That was an Avit, wasn't it?
That was. It couldn't have been more Avit. Peter Kay had a can of John Smith's in his hand. It was a proper old-fashioned get it clear, but job done.
Why not? So close to half-time. I think they've really impressed me after those initial first 10 minutes, and where I was initially thinking, got to take a point for Fulham right now, No, who knows? They could be thinking even more than that.
Just the 1 point on the road for them up to this point. Beaten the Chelsea and Villa in the last 2 away games. Bournemouth work the ball over the top that Evan Nielsen chases, but he can't control it, goes out of play for a goal kick.
Do you know what? Again, it's that ball over the top, isn't it? And there were 2 centre-halves there, but it's so difficult in these conditions, like to bring down a 40-yard ball that's coming over your shoulder. That first touch would almost need to be perfect. I just wonder whether it's worth just trying to almost guide it towards the goal with your first touch and just see what happens, see if you can, maybe the goalkeeper's not set and ready, but at this moment in time, there's no doubt about it, going into half-time, Marco Silva would be the happy of the 2 managers.
Trufair knocks the ball away. Bournemouth held here by Newcastle. They've won the other 2 home games that they've played so far, beating Wolves and Brighton, although Brentford knocked them out the League Cup here at the Vitality. Adams has got possession. And he's played it to his right-hand side for James Hill. Hill coming forward over halfway, down towards Brooks. Clever first-time ball round the corner. Scott taking it on. Can't beat Bassey, who's claiming it deflected back off Scott. It is a Bournemouth throw, though. And Hill's going to come forward to take it. He's going to take a drier ball to give him the opportunity of having a bit more purchase. He picks it up off a white cone in front of a photographer. He's got to make sure, first of all, it's a legitimate throw, because his last long throw was a foul throw. Dried the ball on the inside of his red and black striped shirt. 4 minutes of stoppage time are up. So this is the last attack. Hill launching inside the box. Not a long enough throw. It's headed away, and that's half-time. Bournemouth with plenty of early promise, but it fizzled away after that as Fulham got into the game. They had one really good counter-attacking opportunity they couldn't make the most of, with a poor ball from Harry Wilson, seeing it disappear. Neither side having much in the way of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity. Only 3 shots on target over the first 45 minutes. Half-time, it is 0-0. And just for a little bit of context, we are, 61 Premier League games into the season. This is game number 61 as we get back underway. That first half had a lower collective XG than any of the previous games that we've seen over the course of this season, which sounds like I'm inviting you to turn it off. I'm not at all. All I'm saying is it will get better. It hasn't been a bad 0-0. It just hasn't seen a stack of chances. It's really intriguing.
Did you text Martin O'Neill that stat?
Yeah, I think he didn't bother replying because he doesn't believe in it, as you know. The ball is out of the Bournemouth left. Semenyo chasing after it, and just for a moment it looked as though he was going to let it run out of play for a throw, then try to kill it, and it's come off his foot and gone out of play. So Bournemouth lining up Petrovic in goal, Hill, Diakite, Senesi and Trufair, Scott and Adams, Semenyo, Tavernier and Brooks, with Evan Nielsen up front. Fulham have Leno in goal, Diop, Anderson and Bassey, Castagna, Berger, Kearney and Sessegnon. Kearney's come on for Sasha Lukic, who was injured in the early stages, and then Wilson and Iwobi. Wide of Josh King, who is playing the central role but playing it as a false 9, just dropping deep, and the other 2 are high wide split strikers at times. Bournemouth in possession with Senesi. On the benches, Lewis Cook back for Bournemouth, which is good to see after a shoulder injury. Christie, Gannon, Doak, Kluivert, Alex Jimenez, Adley, Krupi, Milosavljevic and Dennis. And for Fulham, Kenny's already come on. Traore, Cuenca, Kusiasare, Chukwueze, Kevin, Smith-Rowe, Robinson and Lecomte. Bournemouth in possession, working it forward towards Semenyo. Doesn't quite have the impact tonight that he's had in some other games, but he drives it in now. Taking the deflection, his driven ball. Evan Nielsen pulling it back. Tavernier leaves it for Scott. What a good block that was. Leno was going one way, the ball the other, and Kearney threw himself into the line of fire to get it away, and he goes out of play for a Bournemouth corner.
Well, he's not always known for his defensive play, Tom Kearney, but that was brilliant, blocked out. And we expected Bournemouth to really start the second half like they did the first. I actually think Evan Nielsen was offside.
In comes this corner, and it's gone over everybody and drifts away out of play for a goal kick. How do they get Evan Nielsen more into the game?
Yeah, I mean, look, it depends where the ball is on the pitch. Obviously, you can look for that long ball over the top if Fulham are really up the pitch, but if they're sort of halfway through their own halves, 30, 40 yards out from goal, It's going to be some ball to kind of whip it 40 yards over the top, but with backspin in these conditions. So they need to just play a little bit more on the ground. And also I just think, I mean, in both teams this could be for. Get the balls in the box a little bit more and then win the knockdowns. Have a few more shots from 25 yards out. The wind is still swirling, the rain is still coming down, teeming down. The goalkeepers haven't been tested enough. And this is where I think sometimes we're talking about sort of being a bit old school, set pieces, long throws. There haven't been enough long shots or crosses coming into the box and seeing if these defenders, one, can deal with the first one coming in, but two, the second knockdowns.
48 minutes in, and it is 0-0. Crosses 17 for Bournemouth, only 6 for Fulham so far through the opening 48 minutes.
We mentioned about the crosses, and yeah, in terms of numbers, crosses have come in, but they're not with the knockdowns. That's been the major problem. There's been a couple of times where you're expecting a Bournemouth midfielder to really run onto it as the defending header hasn't been particularly great. It's not happened. The Fulham midfielder has got there first.
Senesi down towards Truffert. Great turn by Truffert. Got away from Wilson and actually got hurt by the Welsh international. If there was any intent, it was just too good a turn. Harry Wilson goes across, offers a hand of apology. Not sure that'll work as an anaesthetic for Truffert, but he is back on his feet. Accepted the apology, and a free kick will be taken by Bournemouth about 5 yards inside their own half. Bournemouth only one home defeat in the last 7 Premier League matches. That came against Villa. In fact, they've only lost 10 out of their last 37 games all told in League and Cup. Truffaut's in space here on the Bournemouth left. Deals with a slightly awkwardly bouncing ball by nudging it forward with his chest, poking it down the line. Semenyo gives Che Diop a cross, and he goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Bournemouth left, level with the edge of the Fulham penalty area. 5 minutes gone in the second half here on TalkSport. 0-0, all square as well in North Wales between Wrexham and Birmingham. Live for you right now over on TalkSport 2. Pat Roberts equalising for Blues. The opening seconds of the second half. 1-1. Semenyo, long throw towards the near post. Took a flick off Diakite's head, but it is cleared from the edge of the Fulham penalty area. Goes out for another Bournemouth throw. Tavernier wanting to take it quickly. Iraola suggesting that he doesn't, and he delegates responsibility to Truffert, who will come across to restart play. Evan Nielsen making a darting run towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's thrown shorter for Tyler Adams. Crossfield ball from him, chested down by James Hill. Hill on halfway, back for Diakite. Now Senesi bringing it forward, and then finding Truffert. There's a little bit of space for Bournemouth on the left-hand side when Truffert gets it, because the nature of the way that Harry Wilson is playing this role on the right. So that does give Truffert the opportunity to get possession. They haven't made the most of those chances yet. Ball played by Diakite across the hill, past Iwobi to find him. Now it goes out of the Bournemouth right-hand side. Brooks getting to the byline, standing it up towards the far post where Semenyo is waiting, but it's well headed away by Castagna for a corner.
Brilliant play from Bournemouth, and that's what we're talking about. Gone from one side to the other, which has then meant it's a one-on-one situation for David Brooks. Calvin Bassey can't come and help Sessegnon. It just goes down the outside, doesn't have to beat him, puts the cross to the far post. And it's great defending from Castagna.
Right, so this is corner number 4 for Bournemouth. Second of the second half already. It's going to be taken on the right flank. Senesi trying to get away from Sessegnon at the far post. It's hit in deep. It's a horrible one. Evan Nielsen turns it wide. What a chance that was for Bournemouth as the corner came in. Leno's punch was far from convincing, and Tavernier and Adams both making it difficult. He palmed it away to stop it creeping underneath his bar down towards Evan Nielsen. And Evan Nielsen, albeit that the angle's quite tight, he's only 3 yards out and he's missed the target.
Well, that corner was going straight in, and Leno was too busy fighting with the player in front of him, and he's realised with his left hand he's had to punch it out. And you're right, he's just a little bit ahead of the near post, Evan Nielsen, and he's got 2 Fulham players between him and the goal. Would have been some strike to get it in, but it was a half a chance.
Scott, and towards Tavernier. who just nods it down towards the edge of the penalty area, and Evan Nielsen's effort this time is on target. It was spilt by Leno. Greasy ball on a difficult surface, but plenty of defenders back. He was always going to be able to pick up the second ball.
Yeah, great play. Really, really good play there. And that's what Marcus Tavernier needs to do. He needs to get closer to Evan Nielsen, so they're playing more as a two. When they haven't got the ball, he can drop off, or when they have got the ball, get a little bit closer and help him out a bit, because he's been on his own pretty much the whole first half.
Did score at Fulham last season, Evan Nielsen. The game was settled by a goal just 53 seconds in when the two sides last met here. It was Semenyo that scored it. The first minute opener, and turned out to be the winner back in April. The ball with Sander Berge for Fulham, who are in their change kit tonight of lime green. Diop making his first Premier League appearance since April, just lost out to Semenyo. Since the start of April, only Haaland and Bowen have scored more goals than Antoine Semenyo. Very much an FPL favourite these days. And he's taken a station up in a central position here on the edge of the penalty area, and he sort of trudges away disconsolately because the ball didn't come in. It's gone out to the right-hand side. Now it's in towards Evan Nielsen, who's gone down inside the box. There was contact on him as well as the ball. Play continues, and again, they have a right for play to continue. The VAR will be having a look at the incident. It is John Brooks who is on VAR duty tonight. And Evan Nielsen's still down, writhing in pain inside the penalty area. Meanwhile, the other end, Kenny brings it forward, finds Alex Iwobi, ball in from him, looking for King. Senesi dealt with it at the near post, got it away. Hill trying to put it out of play, has been able to do that, and now play will stop so that Evan Nielsen can be attended to.
And I think Alex Iwobi has to do better there. As he comes inside on the left-hand side, he's got to make sure he puts in a better cross than that. We're just watching a replay of Evan Nielsen going down. There's no way that's the penalty. I mean, I'm sure there was a little bit of contact, and maybe it was painful. A slight push. I don't quite know. Has he stepped in him again? He's holding his foot. I don't see where he has. It's more the push. Was that a penalty? He certainly shouldn't be doing that, Diop.
Well, as I mentioned, John Brooks is the VAR, and it is being checked. So notification up on the giant screens in the corners of the ground here at the Vitality Stadium, checking possible penalty for the foul. Stills can be really deceptive. We've seen that on occasion over the last week or so in particular. It looks as though Diop maybe just catches Evan Nielsen on the Achilles before the ball gets there. Evan Nielsen has gone down maybe half a second before the ball gets there.
Well, he's got two things to look at then, VAR. One, the sort of stamp on the heel. Now, I think that's completely accidental, and these type of things happen. For me, if it's going to be a penalty, it's whether he's got two arms on him and he's pushed him over. I actually think he's gone over because of the foot on foot, and therefore I wouldn't give a penalty.
Check complete, and play resumes with a Fulham throw. Will come outside the penalty area for Iwobi, who sends a bouncing ball back in. Diakite able to defend that one pretty comfortably. I think Marco Silva, who is not the biggest admirer of VAR or the way that it is being implemented at the moment, and might have spontaneously combusted had a penalty been given there, bearing in mind the two they didn't get last week.
Absolutely, and a few decisions have gone against them all season. It could be argued either way, and I'm happy to have an argument with anyone about which one of those you sort of properly look at. And there's no way he should be putting both arms on Evan Nielsen. I don't think there's enough for him to go down to justify the penalty, and I think with the foot on foot, that's just accidental. But the bottom line is, I think it's the correct decision. Whether you think it's a penalty or not, the VAR didn't get involved.
King to Iwobi, left-hand side of the penalty area. It's chipped inside the box. Header from Castagna. Petrovic would have been able to deal with it. It was fly hacked away from in front of him. Comes down for Bergen. Out of Kearney. Out towards Iwobi. Right-footed delivery from him, and Petrovic can come out and catch that. Final thought on that penalty claim for Evan Nielsen. They had a long look at it. And obviously the bar is that little bit higher. We have the concept these days of referee's call. I'm not sure that if a penalty had been given by Simon Hooper, it would have been overturned by the VAR.
I totally agree. I think either way, it wouldn't be a clear and obvious error, because I think people could argue for it either way, but referee's call has stood there. Whether you agree with it or not, I'm glad VAR didn't get involved.
Iwobi chips the ball forward here for Harry Wilson. Left-footed effort from him, tipped away by the goalkeeper centrally. And then Semenyo, I beg your pardon, needed a couple of touches to be able to clear from the edge of his penalty area. And he goes out of play for a throw, and all of a sudden Fulham just with a couple of sights of goal in the space of 2 or 3 minutes.
It's a decent strike that as well, wasn't it? Great movement from Harry Wilson. When he takes it first time, it's a good save. It's one he should make, to be fair, Petrovic, but take a lot of confidence from that Fulham.
3 clean sheets for him in 7 games so far this season, Georgi Petrovic. Bournemouth bringing the ball forward here with Brooks. And it slammed into Berger, almost broke back Brooks' way. But Kearney is going to be able to mop up and get Fulham 4 towards halfway again. Travelling Londoners over on the far touchline from us, the rain swirling into their faces at the moment, making plenty of noise. Looking for their first win of the season on the road. They have lost 6 of the last 9 Premier League games away from the Cottage. But 0-0 here, and we've played almost an hour. Still 1-1 live view right now over on TalkSport 2 between Wrexham and Birmingham. Forward they come again on the left-hand side of the box with Sessegnon. Sessegnon has a little double ricochet as a corner is going to be given. I thought it had come back off Hill into Sessegnon, but it didn't, and it's out for a corner which Fulham are going to take on their left, and is their first of the second half.
Yeah, he's done well, Sessegnon. I think it's one of the reasons why Anthony Robinson hasn't needed to be rushed back. He knows how to play that role, whether it's left back or left wing back. Remember him bursting on the scene as a 16-year-old for Fulham. I think it really suits him, this position.
So a corner to be taken on that Fulham left-hand side. Adams can head it away. Goes back out towards Wilson. Wilson then drags it back to the edge of the penalty area, and King fires it high and wide, and he still waits for his first senior goal.
Well, it's still worth a go from there. He's leant back, it's gone over, but the idea was right, it's just the execution wasn't.
So the first change being made with an hour on the clock, which suggests it may be premeditated. It's a double for Bournemouth. We're going to see Kluivert come on to replace Tavernier, and Alex Jimenez, the Spanish right back on loan from AC Milan, will replace James Hill. So a double change, Hill and Tavernier off, Jimenez and Kluivert on.
Oh, Kluivert, I remember we talked about it with Hugh, sort of 10-15 minutes, take a look, make some substitution. I don't know whether James Hill is injured. He was doing a good job, he was getting forward, but certainly for Kluivert, just trying something different. Tavernier couldn't quite get too much into the game or either support Evan Nilsson. So yeah, got to try something different.
Has been injured, Kluivert. He made his first Premier League start of the season last weekend. On today for the 300th game of his club career. He has scored in his only previous appearance against Fulham. But we talked about Evan Nilsson struggling for goals here. Kluivert has as well. He's only netted in one of his last 16 home league games. Will that be able to change today on a night where I think the general consensus with an hour gone is it could be first goal wins it. Senesi, right hand side of the box. Clearance from him. Brought down by Evan Nilsson. Oh, it's a really good turn. Anderson has caught him. He's found himself sandwiched there between Anderson and Kearney. Then the ball from the free kick down towards Truffert, who was just caught on his heels, and Wilson read it. He's won it back, lays it back. Sander Berger sliding in, and the retreating Kluivert did enough to win it back. Scott with an angled ball over the top. Brooks chases after it. He's going to get there ahead of Bassi. And having done so, will now try and turn it out towards the right-hand side. Alex Jimenez, heavy touch from him. And the chance is very quickly gone. Just ran away from him out of play for a goal kick. It's full time in the WSL. Here's Natalie Pye.
Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1, and the league's top two couldn't be separated tonight. Chelsea went ahead through captain after a clever back heel from Macario, but United hit back with a stunning first goal for Anna Sandberg, a left-footed volley from 20 yards. The second half was played in heavy rain. United with the better chances early on, but unable to take them. Chelsea on top by the end of the 90. Over 5,000 here. It's finished level. United's unbeaten run at home since January continues, and Chelsea extend their remarkable league record without defeat all the way back to May 2024. It's Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1.
Now Castagna chasing here, but the ball drifts into the Bournemouth penalty area, and Petrovic right on the left-hand side of the box is going to be able to bring it under control. We'll get a Super League update shortly from Wigan against Lee in the semi-finals as well, with Bournemouth in possession here at 0-0, 18 minutes into the second half. Ball played forward from Scott, the former Bristol City man. Another former Bristol City man, Semenyo, just waiting in space on the left. They do look for that long diagonal frequently. Scott saying they have a tendency to play long balls. Only Everton play more long balls in the Premier League than Bournemouth, but they've worked it forward more conservatively. Here's a good ball from Semenyo. Cliver across the edge of the 6-yard box. Brooks was arriving, but not in time. Fulham clear. Adams, handball shout against Wilson, way outside the penalty area. Play goes on. Adams to Semenyo, back out for Justin Clivert again, bottom left-hand corner of the box. It's 0-0 here in Dawson on Talk Sport. Jim Proudfoot and Scott Minto talking through the action as Storm Amy takes hold. High ball inside that Fulham penalty area was way overhit. Should be easy for Sessegnon. Pokes it away from Jimenez, who come forward from right back, out of play for a Bournemouth throw.
Jimenez does well actually, because that was a really poor cross from Senesi to the far post. Sessegnon should have just got rid of it. And it's a little bit of concerted effort and spending time in Fulham's half and Bournemouth. The question is now, can they break them down? At the moment they haven't been able to.
Trufa for Semenyo, and then back Clivert leaving it for Senesi. Possession in the second half, pretty level, 52-48, and it was just a shade more in Bournemouth's favour than that in the first 45 minutes. Alex Jimenez coming forward again. Not too many miles on the clock for the youngster, only 50-odd senior games. Here's Brooks getting to the byline, checks onto his left foot, fashions a ball inside the penalty area. Awkward attempt at defending it, proved to be effective. Came off the top of the boot of one of the Fulham players. It's cleared out as far as Adams. Now to Senesi. Bournemouth fans on their feet as he whips it inside the box. Evan Nielsen's touch didn't find Semenyo. Fulham's initial clearance goes up rather than out. Semenyo can win it back, turning on the edge of the box. A little bit of pinball. It came back off Wilson. Trufair helps it wide. Clivert can stop it going out of play for a goal kick, and will maintain possession down by the corner flag. He's laid it back for Tyler Adams. Adams now for Grant Trufair again. Back in from Clivert. Bournemouth have looked better since the changes. Diakite now towards the right hand side. Brooks, ball flicked on at the near post from Evan Nielsen, who was running onto it at the top of his head and floats innocuously wide. So Fulham now looking to their bench, and they will hope for a similar impact. We're going to see Kevin and Samuel Chukwueze, who will come on for the 300th game of his career, replacing a man who's also played the 300th game of his career tonight in Harry Wilson.
Yeah, just on Bournemouth and that position where they got into there, it was a decent cross. Even Nielsen's gone to the near post. Someone else has to get in there and go towards the far post. Can't just try and again with 5 at the back or even the 3 centre halves expect to hit him perfectly. Someone has got to realise Evan Nielsen will go one way, and then they've got to get in and go to the far post there. But yeah, it's interesting. Fulham just a little bit under pressure in the last 5 or so minutes, and you can see Marco Silva trying to change things a little bit.
So I think Iwobi is going to come into the false 9 role, with the 2 substitutes having come on, both playing as those split strikers. King has also gone off along with Wilson. Kevin, who is the one player that they signed for money over the summer, he arrived in a £35 million deal from Shakhtar Donetsk, the Brazilian left winger. And Samuel Chukwueze, who's on loan from Milan, he made his Premier League debut last weekend playing as a right winger, a man who made his name at Villarreal, Nigerian international of nearly 50 caps. He's wearing 19, Kevin wearing 22, goes out to the touchline. Fulham throw was misdirected as Kearney then tried to desperately keep it alive. He's just tapped it out of play. The rain comes down with increasing ferocity again. And we're well past the hour mark here at the Vitality Stadium. Still, it is 0-0 between these two teams. If it stays this way, Bournemouth will end the night 4th and Fulham will be 8th. Bournemouth win and they go up to 2nd. And they have it here with Cliver. Trufair making good ground up the Bournemouth left. Cliver's worked it back out towards Alex Jimenez on the right-hand side. It's past the midway stage of this second half. Pull ball in from Alex Jimenez. And it's brought under control by Chukwueze. Trying to release Alex Iwobi down the left, and the sliding chance from the retreating Brooks could get it away. You're listening to Bournemouth against Fulham on Talk Sport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now, you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Bournemouth against Fulham. It's live right now. Search Now Sports. 0-0.
Yeah, I know it's not been a game of lots of chances in the final third, but it has been a fascinating game in terms of tactics.
Castagna delivers. It should be easy for Petrovic. Actually swerved away from him, and he needed defending. Bournemouth could get it away, and now Brooks will get himself in a leg race here against Bassi, who did well.
Yeah, good luck.
Bassi just got back goal side and was able to divert it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, good luck getting around Calvin Bassi there, no matter how quick you are. But no, I've been really interested in how Fulham have changed it to a 3 at the back and how they've dealt with what is a very strong Bournemouth side. Again, best start ever in the Premier League, and first 10 minutes starting so well. Looked like Fulham didn't know how to play this system, and playing it really well since.
And now they have a chance inside the penalty area that they've been able to take, and it's Sessegnon. Ball rolled in for him, and he made that darting run down the inside left channel, fires it into the roof of the net. They haven't had too many chances tonight, but Sessegnon has taken one, his first of the season. It is Bournemouth 0, Fulham 1, and they could be in the top 7 at the end of the night.
Well, it's just incredible, isn't it? Talked earlier about how Sessegnon, this position, I think suits him perfectly. He's not a winger, he hasn't got that kind of trick, and then to get away from a fullback, but he can time his run really well. That's exactly what he did. Lovely little 1-2. And as Petrovic comes out, that is a really good finish, because he realises he has to lift it over the goalkeeper, but make sure it doesn't go over the crossbar, and it hits the top of the net. And we talked about how this new system from Fulham struggled in the first 10 minutes, and they've been excellent since then. Not created lots of chances. They probably would have taken a point at the start of the game. They won't take it now. We said that one goal might win it. Well, Bournemouth need another, or a goal, to make sure they don't get a defeat this evening.
Sessegnon with the goal. It's his 29th in Fulham colours. He had that good run at the end of last season. It is his first of this campaign. Steaming forward from left wing back, and able to finish. Bournemouth 0, Fulham 1. Fulham's only Premier League win here actually came after they'd been relegated back in the 18-19 season. It was Mitrovic that scored the goal that day. They lead here. Have struggled to keep clean sheets, mind. Only one in their last 15 Premier League games. They might yet feel that they need a second goal if they're going to be able to win this. But they have the lead. Sessegnon with the goal. Also worth pointing out, the last 7 games that Fulham have gone 1-0 up in, they've lost 4 of them. Not particularly adept at being able to hold on to leads recently.
Don't say that too loud to them.
So on that basis, if you're going to take the lead, you want to do so probably in the last 20 minutes, and that's what they've done. 71 gone now. Bournemouth 0, Fulham 1. Incidentally, the Premier League Match Centre talking about that penalty at the other end. The referee's called a no penalty, checked and confirmed by VAR. The contact from Diop on Evan Nielsen deemed to be accidental. The ball clipped down towards Trufair on the Bournemouth left. He's not going to be able to keep that in. The camber of the pitch and the greasy surface both conspired against him. Sessegnon's goal, 1-0 Fulham with 18 minutes to go.
I don't know if this is a good thing, but I agree with VAR. I think there were two facets to it, though. There was the arms in the back, and that should have been given at least a mention. I don't think that was enough for him to go down, and I do think the sort of natural foot movement accidentally caught Evan Nilsson, as painful as it was.
Diakite heads away. Fulham have got a player down injured, and Marco Silva, again, really irate. Play stops so that Iwobi can receive any treatment that is necessary, and Marco Silva was furious that a free kick wasn't given in the first place. Let's get an update from the rugby. Here's TalkSport's Matt Horton.
Yeah, 26 minutes gone in the second half. It's still Wigan 14, Leigh 6. Both sides had good chances. A great tackle on Junior December denied the Warriors, and then Jai Field's tackle on Owen Trout denied the Leopards. 13:40 left. Wigan 16, Leigh 6.
Thank you, Matt. Wigan in control there. Fulham here. Tyler Adams. Will Bournemouth be heading for their first home Premier League defeat of the season? Ball goes back for Diakite. To his left-hand side is Marcus Senesi. Trufair lets it run past him for Semenyo. Back now for Senesi again. Senesi into the feet of Cliver. Cliver back for Adams. Adams approaching the edge of the penalty area. It's laid by Semenyo out towards Trufair, and straight back for the American, whose little reverse ball went away from Semenyo. Now ball over the top, and Bournemouth's high line is exposed. He won't be coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Senesi gets back goal side, forces Iwobi wide, and the Cherries have rediscovered their defensive shape. They haven't got the ball back though. Chuck Woods are making his way forward. Senesi's fouled him, and is going to be booked, I think, by the referee, who's pointed to 2 or 3 places on the pitch and then didn't produce the yellow card. Looks as though he was going to, but it is a free kick to Fulham, led with the right-hand side of the penalty area, about 6 yards away from the edge of the box.
Should have done, Jim. Just looking at the replay, he's just... Remember in the old school playground days, you just click the back of someone and they go over. It's exactly what he did there. I think he was struggling after that sprint back trying to catch Alex Iwobi. And I tell you what, Fulham 1-0 up and look like they may well get a second, or certainly feel like they want to get it.
2 in the Bournemouth wall. They've got everybody back inside their own penalty area. 7 in a line, 8 yards out. Kearney thrashes it in. Trufair smacks it away. Back in from Sessegnon, the goal scorer. Out of the Fulham left-hand side for Iwobi. Anderson still forward from that set piece, and Iwobi turning it forward towards Sander Berge. Back for Iwobi again. Chuck Wurzer and Kearney almost tackling each other, but Fulham have maintained possession. Now ball chipped inside the penalty area. It's headed away by Diakite. Semenyo brings it down and is wrestled to the ground by Diop. Simon Hooper's kept his card in his pocket all night. He couldn't any longer. The card almost jumped out of its own volition. Diop's book.
I don't think he needed to do that, Diop. I understand Semenyo's on the ball and a possible counter-attack, but there were 2 other Fulham players around him.
Currently Bournemouth 0, Fulham 1. And for the latest odds, head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can back Bournemouth to win at 11-1. Fulham are 2-5, or you can back the draw at 27-10. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+. Gambleaware.org. 14 minutes to go. Senesi coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Senesi for Alex Scott. Scott nudging it to his right-hand side. Adams will help it further away. Then left-footed ball inside the penalty area is cleared. It goes back to Sessegnon down towards his own corner flag. He's put under pressure from Scott, and he can clear it into Brooks and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Bournemouth right. They need to respond. They've only had 3 shots on target. They've only had 1 shot on target in this second half. Still live over on TalkSport 2 right now. It's 1-1 between Wrexham and Birmingham. They've got 12 minutes to go there. We've got 13 to go here.
I was just about to say, I think it's time for more subs, and there's going to be 2 more now as well. They've got to try and do something.
And they're going to change the shape by the look of it, because centre-half Marcus Senesi is going to be coming off, and so too is Tyler Adams. Players coming on, Ryan Christie and Ben Gannon-Doak. Gannon-Doak, £25 million signing from Liverpool. He's only played 58 minutes of Premier League football in his career. And he comes on for his 5th substitute appearance in the top flight. Christie dropping in at centre-half. Diakite standing inside the centre circle, looking around, trying to work out how Bournemouth are going to adjust this. Are they going to drop Trufair in at centre-half, or are they just going to play with Alex Jimenez and Trufair as very wide centre-halves? So it looks as though it's the latter, and they're matching Fulham up here with a back three. Scott for Trufair. Will still be given the licence to come forward. Finding Semenyo, 12 to go. 1-0 Fulham lead it here on TalkSport. Semenyo getting to the byline, now pulling it back. Oh, how has he squeezed that in? He's having the season of his life. Bournemouth back on level terms with a moment of brilliance from Semenyo. He dropped his shoulder, got to the byline. Everyone expecting the pullback. I don't know whether he's given Bernd Leno the eyes, but he's just fired it past him at the near post. And Bournemouth are back on level terms. Fulham's lead lasted only 8 minutes.
Well, I tell you what, the moment he picks up the ball, well, you tell me anyone that thinks there's going to be a goal 5 seconds later, but this is what Antoine Semenyo can do. He goes round the outside of Castagnet. He's just about kept it in the byline. And Bernd Leno, he's planted his feet, but his legs are open. And Semenyo has put it in the only way possible that he could get it through him and into the goal. It's a poor mistake, really, from the keeper. And now they believe they can go on and win the game.
Oh, do they? Here's Cliver coming forward. 1-1 with 11 minutes to go. And they're hungry for it now, the Cherries. Calvin Bassey can shepherd that one out of play, and it goes out for a goal kick, which Fulham will take. He's such a dependable goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. But playing his 250th game in English football tonight, split absolutely dead evenly incidentally between Arsenal and Fulham, those 250. But that was a horrible moment for him. Semenyo with a piece of class, his 5th goal of the season. And I mentioned earlier, since the start of April, only Haaland and Bowen have scored more than him in the Premier League. He's got 8 in that time, only 1 behind the other 2. 5 in 8 for him this season. 1-1 here.
Yeah, no one's had more goal involvement, if you chuck the assists on, than the moment since he got the winner against Fulham. And look, it shouldn't be allowed, but Leno is a very, very good goalkeeper. But just the brilliance of Semenyo, just doing something you just wouldn't expect, and that's the only way really Bournemouth are going to get in the game. And the psychology of the whole, see the body language now of the, not just the Bournemouth players, but listen to the crowd. They believe they can go on and get all 3 points.
Yet another game in which Fulham haven't been able to keep a clean sheet. It's only won in the last 16 in the Premier League now. Castagna, Berger, Christie has won it back. He's got the better of Kearney. Comes forward towards the edge of the area. On his left foot, he's urged to shoot. Never likely to. He tried to thread the ball through for Cliver. Deflects away for a Bournemouth throw.
It wasn't the best of first half, was it? It's been an excellent second half, and certainly the last 15-20 minutes.
You should have a career in PR or be an estate agent. Not the best of first halves. Has lost it a little. Been great second half though. Here's Berger. Fulham trying to play it forward. Kevin chesting it down. Goes back for Bassey. Rain harder now than ever before. Bassey's long ball forward. There was no Fulham player within 50 yards of that. And he goes straight through for Petrovic. The game has changed in an instant.
It's incredible, isn't it? The old cliche of goal change games, they really do. The mentality of the crowd as well as the players, and Calvin Bassey just knocking it long, and there's no one up there at all. Ball coming back again. Can Bournemouth get this second goal?
Trufair for Semenyo. 8.5 left. Diakite nudging it to his right hand side. Sometimes the ball's beginning to hold up now because we've had so much rain. Here's Ben Gannon-Doak. First chance for him, turning inside the penalty area. Left-footed delivery. Cliver was waiting. It was cleared. Christie trying to win the second ball. Brooks will just be caught. Play goes on, I think rightly. Scott back for Christie. Scott's went into the path of Cliver, guilty of overplaying it there, and as he tried to rectify, looked as though he fouled Sander Berger. Referee says play on. Alex Scott's got it. Right-footed effort deflects away. It's hit the retreating Bassey, and Fulham will be able to clear. That looked like a clear foul. Not given. Ball whacked forward by Fulham again. Christie lost his footing. Fulham get it out towards the left-hand side for Kevin. Kevin taking on Ben Gannon-Doak, now taking on Alex Jimenez, beating the pair of them. Great ball retention. Fulham fans had a good view of that over on the far touchline, really appreciated it. Back from Iwobi, Chukwueze towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to just ghost his way past Ryan Christie. He can't do so, but he's maintained possession. Has it again here. Left-footed ball in towards Iwobi, little wall pass, and then Kevin with either a heavy pass or a tame shot, one or the other. It's gone through towards Petrovic. A little bit more class on the ball. Chukwueze might have been in. 1-1 with 7 to go. Both sides feeling they can win this. Bournemouth probably the more likely. Kluivert getting the better of Kearney. Oh! Pick that out! 2 in 5 minutes. Justin Kluivert, 25 yards out, has pinged it into the top left-hand corner. 2 goals of magnificent quality, and Bournemouth could be heading up to second in the Premier League.
Wow, and listen to these fans around here. Honestly, Jim, at 1-0, it looked like they could play another 90 minutes and they wouldn't do it. Something had to happen. Needed a little bit of magic, and they got that from Antoine Semenyo. And then it just completely changes. Fulham just knocking the ball long, no one up there. Wave after wave of attack. But then Justin Kluivert, as good as the Semenyo goal was, this is even easier on the eye. He just shapes to go one way, goes the other, and then he whips the ball with his right foot, giving the keeper no chance whatsoever. Top corner. 2-1, they've turned it around. Can Fulham bounce back now?
That was one of those goals that was so good that when you saw it again on the big screen, it gets another roar of appreciation and oohs and ahs. Bournemouth are going to make a change, and they're going to change the shape, I think, back to a back 4. Milosavljevic is going to come on. It's only his second appearance since his move from Red Star Belgrade. His other came against Brighton 3 weeks ago. Justin Kluivert's first goal since February, ending a 16-game goal drought, marking game number 300 of his senior career with goal number 65. 2-1 Bournemouth in a match that Fulham led with 11 minutes left. We've got 5 minutes to go now. Kearney, Iwobi, Chukwueze trying to turn in past Semenyo, who's defended it well, and then Truffaut will be able to do the rest and get it clear. Evan Nielsen's touch down towards the touchline, laid back. Semenyo whacking it forward, no one can chase it. Just think back to about a minute before that goal was scored, and the half chance that Chukwueze and Kevin had, where Kevin's through ball was too heavy for Chukwueze's run, and he got that right. Could have been 2-1 to Fulham. Now it's 2-1 to Bournemouth, and Fulham will make changes. Diop and Iwobi are coming off, and we're going to see Smith Rowe and Traore come on.
Well, they've got to go for it now for sure, but you're right, that little half opportunity that was neither a pass nor a shot. I think it was meant as a pass, but completely overhit. If they were able to somehow get Kevin in there, then they could have gone on to a 1-in. I mean, you wouldn't have seen this at half-time and how exciting the second half has turned out to be.
Oh, it's not over yet. Here's Sessegnon, scorer of the first goal. High ball inside the penalty area. Traore trying to bring it down, can do so right-hand side of the box. Kluivert barges into Castagna off the ball. Play goes on with Adama Traore in possession. It's found Tom Kearney. Kearney turning away from Evan Nielsen. Just opens up for him for a moment, but any gap towards goal was quickly closed down. Berger, Castagna. Traore battling again. Oh, he's done really well. Great turn. He's inside the penalty area. Scott is with him every step of the way. He's pulled it back. It's Kearney, and it's just over the bar.
Oh my goodness, what an opportunity for Tom Kearney on his left foot as well. Brilliant play from Adama Traore down the right hand side. He somehow managed to cut the ball back. Tom Kearney's running onto it. You've got 2, 3, 4 Bournemouth players trying to block the shot, one even diving head first to try and stop it, and in the end Tom Kearney couldn't get over it. He believed it was a corner, it wasn't. What an opportunity that was for him.
They've taken 14 points from their last 7 games here, Bournemouth. They're 2.5 minutes away from making that 17 points from 8 games here. That's a run actually that came on the back of a really poor run which curtailed their European push last year. They lost 4 in a row here in the League and Cup, which saw them lose ground and eliminated from the FA Cup by Manchester City. They've rediscovered their home form since. As it stays this way, they will be second in the Premier League table tonight. Here's Emil Smith-Rowe, the £34 million man. Layoff from Chukwueze. Sander Berger's got it. Smith-Rowe cleverly helping it on towards Castagna. Adama Traore, who didn't look comfortable leading the line in Jimenez's absence last week. He looks better in this kind of role tonight, but his right-footed cross there just drifts over the bar past Petrovic, out of play for a goal kick. 2-1 Bournemouth, 2 minutes to go. How's the rugby looking? Matt Horton.
3 minutes to go here at the Brick Community Stadium. It's Wigan 14, Leigh 6. There's been very few chances in this second half as both teams have gone toe-to-toe, but it looks like Wigan are heading for Old Trafford.
Matt, thank you. 2-1 here, 90 seconds left. And for Fulham on the back of that 3-1 defeat at Villa last week, are they going to be losing again? 2 defeats in 6 days incoming, but still time. There will be a bit of time to be added on as well. Scott, Kluivert, Christie tries to work it wide and can't do so. Fulham mop up with Anderson. Anderson has got Bassi to his left-hand side. Now Sander Berger. Berger down towards Adama Traore on the Fulham right. Berger again. And on the edge of his own penalty area, Anderson will hurriedly poke it back to his goalkeeper. Bernd Leno clears. A steepling clearance falls onto the head of Alex Scott almost on halfway. Berger can then bring that down and play it back towards Castagna. But Fulham keeping a foot on the ball at the moment. They need to get it forward. They need to try and get back into Bournemouth territory. Cherry's back four keeping a line about 6 or 7 yards inside Fulham, inside their own half, should I say. Adama Traore with plenty of pace. Doesn't need a second invitation to try and run in behind if they can get the ball right. He's made that run now, but the pass is played for Castagna. Sander Berger, 6 additional minutes to be played. Must admit I wasn't expecting as many as that. Smith-Rowe out of the Fulham left-hand side, can't get on the return ball, which will drift just past the corner flag and out for a Bournemouth goal kick. With Talk Sport, Bournemouth 2, Fulham 1 in stoppage time.
Well, we weren't expecting 6 minutes. We were hoping for it, because I think he's been absolutely brilliant, I do, in the last 20 minutes or so. And look, I'm looking at a picture of Marcus Silva. He's sat back, arms folded. He can't believe what he's seen. Fulham don't deserve to come away with nothing from this game, but you don't always get what you deserve. I think the tactics have been spot on. Defensively, they look good after those initial first 10 minutes. They got the first goal. There's 2 bits of brilliance, isn't it? I mean, you would say it's a mistake from the keeper. You just can't allow Semenyo to score, despite how skillful, how brilliant it was, how clever it was. Can't allow that shot to go through your legs, and that moment completely changed things, and they believe they can go and get the winner. But what a strike that was from Justin Kluivert. I don't think any Bournemouth fan will ever tire of watching that.
Well, on the back of that goal, he has been awarded the sponsors man of the match. He only came on the hour.
Maybe that sums up what we said about the first half. Easily forgettable.
You suggest that he wasn't one of the players that was sullied by it, so that gave him an advantage. 2-1 to Bournemouth. 4.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. If it stays this way, Bournemouth will be second, Fulham will be 11th, which is where they started the night. Only a 3-goal defeat would see them fall down the table on goal difference. Well, that's ahead of all the other games taking place tomorrow, including our live Premier League action for you from Ellen Road as Tottenham go to Leeds, which kicks off at 12:30 here on TalkSport tomorrow. Then Championship action from Sheffield Wednesday, Coventry and Derby Southampton on TalkSport 2 at 12:30 and 3 respectively. Ipswich, Norwich, the East Anglian derby, Sunday lunchtime at high noon. Thursday, England back in action. They're friendly against Wales. And we've got that one for you with Tom Lockyer, the former Welsh international, joining the commentary team at Wembley Thursday night. 3.5 minutes to go here. Couldn't rule out a Fulham equalising goal. It looks a very tall order for them to win it from here. More late concessions for them. Traore working the ball through the centre circle. To his left is Tom Kearney. Kearney's ball forward. Laid back by Kevin. Chukwueze has been really busy since coming on, as indeed he was at Villa Park last week. His ball forward intended for Castagna is mishit, but then sliced away by Semenyo. And he goes out of play for a throw that Castagna takes. Back from him to Chukwueze. Across the edge of the area. Opens up for Kenny. And that was close. That was really close. Petrovic knew he was beaten if it was on target. Not sure how much he's missed by. I would guess about a foot.
Well, Petrovic is nowhere near it. He's just hoping it's the other side of the post. And because he's kind of wrapped his foot around it, it's always purling away. It's a great strike from Tom Kearney. And it's just, as you say, a foot to the left. Petrovic is looking, and then his next touch is picking it out of the net.
Bournemouth get it forward. Home fans trying to sing them on to glory and to second. It's gone out of play for a throw. It is a Fulham ball.
That actually would have been a fitting end as well. As I say, don't always get what you deserve. But Fulham, I feel, deserve a point. And to have seen a goal like that from Justin Kluivert, to have seen a goal what would have been like that from Tom Kearney, I think would have just finished it perfectly.
Yeah, all the stats point to it being an even contest, and I think if you take context into account with the injuries that Fulham have had, the fact that it's been a very makeshift front line for them over the course of the night, they will feel that they deserve something. They might yet get it. Ball played inside the box. It's knocked away by Diakite. Bassi brings it down. Surely just about the last attempt here for Fulham to be able to get it forward. Smith Rowe. Back out towards Kevin. He's level with the edge of the Bournemouth penalty area. Kearney. Chukwueze. Oh, right in the challenge of Kluivert. He's inside the box, flicking it forward. It's Kearney. The angle's tight. And he's flicked wide via a touch from Diakite for a corner.
Oh, that's brilliant play, first of all, from Fulham, but fantastic defending. I mean, almost everybody's in the box. And the way that Diakite has come in there, just slide tackle him, block that. Absolutely brilliant.
Corner on the Fulham left. Now or never for them. And Berger can't get there before it's punched away. Bournemouth win the seconds. Kluivert gets it forward. Ben Gallen-Doak scampers after it. And he's running towards the edge of the penalty area with two covering defenders, but he's knocked it square. And Semenyo finishes the night off. And Bournemouth are going to win it by 3-1. A classic counter-attack. Fulham having to commit the bodies forward, and the cherries hitting them with Gallen-Doak keeping his nerve, rolling it square. Semenyo ends the night with 2 goals and an assist, and Bournemouth end the night in second place.
Well, the sponsors have gone a bit early on Justin Kluivert if Semenyo's got 2, but what a classic counter-attack goal. Just brilliant play, and especially from Ben Gallen-Doak. He sprinted 20-30 yards. It looked like he may even try and have a shot or take on the defender. His awareness to know that Antoine Semenyo was there. I'm pretty sure Semenyo was shouting and screaming, or someone was, to say he's free, just play it across. And that's exactly what happened. And Andoni Iraola at 1-0 down, there's no way he or these Bournemouth fans would have felt that they'd go back and win this game by 3-1. but that's the resilience he has instilled in them. Absolutely brilliant. Heartbreaking for Fulham, but what a victory for Bournemouth.
First minute winner for Semenyo in this fixture last year. He struck twice late this season. That's now 8 in his last 8 Premier League games, up to 6 for the season. And he's now scored 10 of Bournemouth's last 18 Premier League goals. He's in possession here, and he's played it through the midfield for Kluivert. We played 7 additional minutes. Time all but up. Diakite knocks it square to his right hand side for Milosavljevic. Then Gannon Doak, last touch of the night. Bournemouth have never had it so good. Second in the Premier League table. They have never been this high, this far into a season. Played 7, won 4, 14 points. Semenyo with 6 goals. And that after selling nearly £200 million worth of talent over the summer. The smallest football club in the Premier League, but they are going places. A stunning late comeback tonight. A tactical masterclass from Iraola, changing the shape of the team, bringing on Justin Kluivert, scored one of the goals of his life. Semenyo with 2 either side of that, and Fulham, who led going into the last 11 minutes, are left licking their wounds. Second successive 3-1 away defeat for them. Bournemouth, what a night. Bournemouth 3, Fulham 1.